Oh, almost dropped my laptop.
Great. All right, all right.
Scared the shit out of my dog. It's okay, Maya. Good girl.
Right. So, welcome back, nerds, geeks,
It's like we never left.
Nerdcast Podcast. I am just trying to look up something real quick. And then we get into what do we have first up?
Well, now that we've gone through Kevin and we've gone through our Pokemon and anime,
Check, check.
I think it would be kind of a good time to roll into another animated thing, and that would be the team up of Studio Ghibli and LucasArts. So now we're gonna have a Star Wars and Miyazaki combo, and that's fun.
Oh, that's gonna be. I mean, it's Disney and Ghibli.
Mhm.
Be adorable and shit. It's gonna be super cute.
Because like yeah, the title itself is called Zen, and then if you look at the art that was released today, because it's going to be released tomorrow, so November 12th,
Yep.
um, it just looks like something a kid would draw on their
Yeah,
like cover of their like paper. Do you remember when you were a kid
it's just
and they
a
were
little
like,
cute.
you gotta cover your book in a paper bag?
Yeah, yeah, you gotta or like that little yeah, it's basically a paper bag, like thin brown paper.
And it's just Grogu on there with like these animated dust mites, and it's adorable.
Yeah, it's called Grogu and Dust Mites or Grogu and the
Yep.
Dust Mites or something like that.
Yeah, it's called Zen, Grogu, and the Dust Mites, and it looks fun. Like I'm like, all right. Then just for the sake that they were able to kind of keep this to themselves until more or less the day before, I'm like,
Or
that that's the impressive part.
yeah, I got my 3-year-old, my 9-year-old will probably watch it tomorrow morning
hmm
while eating cereal.
Saturday morning cartoon.
Yep, and then we'll watch some probably some My Hero or some One Piece. Yeah,
Classics.
yeah,
But yeah, like, and even like Star Wars getting into the animated realm, like, first and foremost, the Star Wars animated Clone Wars series, perfect.
yeah. It's one of the best shows out.
Ever.
Just like
Yeah.
cartoons, it's like one of the best shows.
Yup.
It's
Again, it's one of those shows where you're like, it's just a cartoon. Like, what is it? You're like, you have no idea.
so many pieces to the Star Wars world, like movies and stuff. For the
The
people that
amount of people you get
books.
invested in and the amount of people that like fall off in the show, you're like, my soul can't take this. Like,
I mean, you literally got. I mean, you got the clone arc, the
mm,
stormtrooper arc, with the clones and stuff, and then you have the Ahsoka arc. It's just way too good. And then they came out with the Bad Batch.
which is also great.
So good, so good. I haven't watched the Tales of the Jedi. Is that what it's called?
I've not watched that yet either, but if it's anything remotely close to the Star Wars visions, um, I'm confident it's going to be a phenomenal watch.
That was a masterpiece.
That was so, oh my God, that first one when it was based in like a Japanese like world or like time period, I
Yeah,
was like, oh.
that
And again, I guess spoilers for no one that's watched it. You probably should have watched it by now.
yeah.
Uh,
It's safe to say you
the
spoiled.
the the moment that this guy like rolls up into town. So the hero of the story originally rolls up to the town to get his droid fixed, and like a Sith and some of her lackeys show up to terrorize this town.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The hero of the story, just a fucking Ronin warrior, walks down the center of the street and meets up with the Sith Lord that's causing these problems. And they get ready to fight, and he pulls out his lightsaber, and it's a red lightsaber, which, if you know anything about Star Wars, you're immediately like, wait, what?
Red,
Even
red.
if you're familiar with TikTok, I guarantee you almost all of you have seen the TikTok of like, wait, his lightsaber blade is red. That's where it's from. And the initial shock, especially that being the first episode where we're all of us that are familiar with Star Wars are expecting blue, a green, maybe a yellow or a
Maybe a
white
yellow,
lightsaber, maybe even
not
a
a red,
purple lightsaber,
not
but
red.
a red?
You
Like,
you had me at red lightsaber.
like what? Like, why did
Now
the
I'm wondering what the fuck is going on.
yep,
Immediately, and the show just started.
yep, and you're like, I'm questioning all my beliefs now. Like, I always knew red as being bad, and then like the more you go into Star Wars, it's like, okay, it's only because of the breakdown of the Jedi and the Sith, because red is seen as a passionate color.
Mhm.
And like Jedi aren't supposed to have that in them. So it's like, oh, damn it.
Yes.
But then Star Wars Visions goes from there. Again, all the like I think it's a total of 9 like short films. They're all great. They're all so much fun. But that first one
Ooh,
hit a special place.
the first one, excuse me, it takes the cake. It really does. I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember them all, but no, I think that was my favorite one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yep.
one with the little cyborg.
Yeah, like the Astro Boy type of like
Yeah,
feel
that's
to it.
what it reminded me of.
That was also fun.
And then the twins. That was pretty cool.
That was also dope. Like like again, all of them have
Ooh,
a
sorry.
pretty solid space. There was one where they made like the Jedi the rocker boy of.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
I was like that one I was a little
Little
bit
punk
like
man, little
I was
punk
like,
rock band.
but
It's still decent.
still fun. But yeah, yeah, I think we're all excited for that new Star Wars edition. Because who doesn't love Grogu? Like, come on.
Grogu, cutest thing on earth. So
Then continuing with our theme of animated stuff coming up. For all of our video game nerds out there, let me tell you something. Netflix, Netflix, they're making a Dragon Age series.
no shit,
hmm
no shit. Shut your mouth.
And
Dragon Age.
Dragon Age, baby. It
That's.
looks fun. It looks good. It looks real good.
I mean, I saw the trailer after you told me about it, and it 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 looks way better than what I was expecting. That was really good trailer.
Well, like, what scares me about Netflix is they very much take their liberty with things and they go to the extremes with the things they shouldn't do. Like, oh God.
You're like,
I,
oh, don't do that. You don't want us to do that, and then you just knock it off the table like a cat.
like for example, like their weird claymation anime style, it pisses me off. I can't do it. I like
Oh,
I'm
like
trying.
their actual originals, where it's
Yeah.
it's not claymation. It's like
Yeah,
a futuristic cartoon type look. It kind of seems kind of like boxy.
right, but like the reason I say claymation is just, dude, or like claymation from our days, great because they were able to use it and utilize it the way it needed to be utilized.
Celebrity deathmatch.
It's- Exactly. But like watching, like for example, the Godzilla one they made or the Pacific Rim animated series they made.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I
I
got it.
I ha-
Like
I can't
ants.
I hate that animation style where it feels like they're trying to do a pastel clay animation. I'm like, you don't need to do that. Like,
The digital clay type
Mhm.
deal. It is awkward and it throws me off, and that's the only reason why I haven't watched all the Godzilla movies. Like each one, I've watched like three of them. I think there's like five or six of them. There's
Yeah.
there's like a bunch of Godzilla shit they got on Netflix.
There's like the Godzilla movie, then they have the Godzilla animated series, and they also have like Godzilla 2, and then there's like King Kong versus Godzilla. It's a running thing.
Yeah, the animation is what throws me off. Like the first one I watched, I'm trying to remember which one was that. It came out like 2 years ago or something like that. But it took me a couple tries to actually get through it just because of the animation.
Yep, like it stuff like that makes it harder for me to enjoy what I know it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But then like the new Dragon Age series they're coming out with, it reminds me, at least the animation style, it reminds me of Castlevania and Blood of Zeus. And Castlevania, that Netflix series is phenomenal. I watch it constantly. I have it in the background at all
The
times.
definition of fuck around and find out.
Yeah. Like,
That anime is the definition. The first episode or two, whatever it was, said, just don't be here in a year.
He was literally like,
Do that. I'm gonna let
for
you go.
out of respect for my wife, I'm giving you a chance.
Like just because I want to grieve.
And let me remind you, you all set her on fire.
Not
And
only Mar- Marshall, not only did they not leave and heed the warning, they
they
threw
just
they threw a fucking
fucking party.
they did a fucking holiday.
They
It
brought the priest out in his
they said,
chair.
yeah. They said we ran that motherfucker. Oh,
His fucking pimp nails that could scoop all the goddamn powder he wanted.
bro, he was mad. He came back. He came back in the flames. He said, "You." He said,
I
"Boy,
gave you
boy."
1 year.
Nobody, nobody's getting spared. And that's what he did. He did not spare a soul, and it was hard for me to feel sorry for anyone.
It's like fucking rip. He told y'all. He told y'all. It's like get out.
Oh man, them demons was coming down. That was hilarious. It was great.
Man, like the scene where the demon walks into the church and like this is like in the future after like the original hellfire happens from the sky and the bishop is like he thinks it's like his fucking sneaky rogue priests that are asking. He's like, are like is Belmont and the speakers dead? And he's like the demon's like, no.
Oh,
It's like we've come here for you. He's like, you're the reason we're here, and we love you for it.
oh man,
That scene, I'm like, oh,
you guys have not watched Castlevania. Do
do
yourself
it.
a favor, binge it.
It's 4 seasons. Every episode is only like 22 minutes. It's quick and easy.
And each episode is good. Like it's
So
a
good.
show. It's a great show.
Because like it was also a great 2D side scroller. I love the remastered version they have of it. My buddy Reed here, he's like basically my brother here. Like he's real into it. He got the vinyl copy of the music and everything. It's like it it's very much a series to like for watching and a series for playing. Highly recommend.
So let's get back to Dragon Age real
Got
quick before we
distracted.
move on. Like this is a big deal. Like I'm super excited. Like I said, that trailer is insane, and it gives us the D&D vibes.
hmm
Yeah.
And like I think it's a good way for them to try to cover up the fall off with Henry Cavill and Witcher writers.
Yeah, it's a great cover up because
Like obviously they have the
uh,
Witcher origin series they're gonna do, but yeah, like it's a good cover up. And I'm bitter. I'm part of like let's see, there's at least 200,000 people that have signed a petition to be like fire the writers.
what are you
Bring
doing?
Henry back, but
Who knows? It doesn't make any sense.
I'm
But
not going to pretend to understand it.
Dragon Age Absolution releases on Netflix
Yep,
uh
December.
December 9th.
hmm
Yep. So be on the lookout for that. I most definitely will be watching it. Well, my kids, but that's neither here nor there. Next, who we got up is one of my favorite isekai animes, which is That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. I know it's a mouthful.
And that's actually one I am not familiar with.
Yeah, I mean, Rimuru Tempest, that's all you need to know. Gets reincarnated as a slime. Spoiler alert, if you haven't already watched, like you haven't, he has the ability to absorb, and that's how he gains his powers. I'm not going to spoil too much because I really want you to just check it out.
That also sounds like a great way to go about life, and I wish I
Yeah.
had that.
Yeah, and like he gets like the number one power from each thing absorbs and kills.
Mhm.
So like that helped him a lot. And they do have they put out the teaser, uh a visual teaser for the anime. That time I got reincarnated as slime. I'm not gonna say it every single time, but
Yeah.
that anime, and it should be releasing out in season 3 comes out in January, so you have time to catch up if you haven't started it yet.
Well, it'll be yeah.
Yeah,
I've been looking for something new to watch.
yeah. I mean, it's only 2 seasons. You can watch the first season this weekend. The second season you can probably knock out before the movie comes out, which comes out November 12th. Or no, November 25th. I'm sorry.
Nice.
Yeah. They have a movie coming out calling and it's called Scarlet Bond. So
Hmm.
that and then season 3 2 months later. It'll
Nice.
be real good. It's one of my favorite isekais, so I'm always gonna promote it.
Yeah, I'm always up for something like new like that because it can be hard. Like that's the thing about the anime world is if you haven't had some form of introduction to it, you just assume it's this one thing that you see as a meme, a TikTok, whatever. But then, like you said, there's the soccer anime you were just literally talking about. There's like a tennis anime like Tennis King. There's
There's
several different
golf.
basketball
There's a
ones.
golfing anime.
Yep.
Like
There's a
one that
volleyball anime.
the volleyball one. I forget the name of that, but the golfing one is popular right now. It's like a girls golf team called like Birdie Club or something like that. But
Hmm.
I mean, I hear it's really good too. But like it's all there's a there's anime for everyone. It's just subgenres. Anime is a genre. There's
Yep.
subgenres. You know, there's romance anime. There's food animes. There's
Food,
supernatural
food
sport.
wars.
Food Wars is intense.
Look,
That is intense, and that's a great first episode.
oh man, it
Got
really that throws you into the deep end.
Insight's face. I can only imagine his face watching the first episode of Food Wars.
He might have to he'll probably pause it a few times and be like,
Oh, he's
"What the
like,
f-"
yeah, I know all the faces he's gonna make. It's gonna be great.
Mhm.
Oh man. All right, so next we got up to talk about, this isn't something new or to look out for, but if you have not heard about the word,
The
it's
bird is the word.
no, the word is invincible.
Invincible. That is such a good show.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I know it's a good show. You wanted to talk about it. when
Like
is there any
Invincible
news on it?
itself.
Is there any news on season 3 or season 2? I'm sorry.
Not like I haven't seen anything yet. I know it's something that they are 100% going to be throwing themselves into, but they were very much focused on getting all of the boys related stuff out, which if you haven't seen that, also
I
highly recommend that.
mean, could have put that on here, but the boys, great,
The boys. The
invincible.
boys.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically Invincible, another great animated series where you're thrown into like that kind of adolescent childhood phase where all of a sudden like you don't know who you are and all this stuff is happening, but all of a sudden you get these superpowers and your dad is best superhero of the world for
He's
the
super fan.
sake of it. It was yeah, like he is the Superman and your powers it took a long time to develop and no one really thought they were going to happen, but you kept your chin up, you worked these local jobs, you were just like keeping yourself busy. All of a sudden the powers show up and then things kind of go sideways.
And you throw a garbage bag full of burgers in space.
Hmm. Exactly. Where you're just like, yeet.
Yeet it.
It's gone. It's gone. And let me tell you, like, this is one of the series or like one of the stories that does a great job at making you look at heroes in a different way. The same way, like, if you're familiar with the boys, exactly what we were talking about before, Amazon is picking up those series where the hero isn't actually the superhero. It's more or less kind of the general dude that is thrown into a situation where you're going against people you're idolizing.
Yep.
No, it very much is like one of those series where it's going to make you look at the people that you picture as your heroes, and it's going to make you kind of like look at it in a different light. Not saying like your personal heroes are bad people, but you also don't know.
Sometimes you grow up idolizing people and then you realize you don't agree with them as much as you thought you did.
Hmm.
You do agree with them at all anymore. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
some people grow up and parents try to control them and make them be the way they want, and then you're like, whoa, that makes zero sense. I'm
Right?
gonna
And
be
it's only because you took the time to explore your options. You
Yeah.
took the time to be out there and try to be yourself.
Yep. In
And it,
this case, we're talking about a kid who's, who's half human and half alien, and his dad may or may not want to enslave the human race. But whatever.
I mean, you know,
Typical teenager shit. There he's gonna cry about it either way.
of course, always and forever.
Oh man, but yeah, Invincible is great. I haven't read the comic. I heard the comic is amazing.
Hmm.
Uh, I think I might actually end up buying that soon. We're gonna go to Barnes and Noble tomorrow, so I'll probably get it. It
That place is dangerous.
really is, especially I'll just be going for my kid. My daughter, she reads so much, so it's like we go there a lot.
Oh man.
Anyone to donate, you know,
I mean, I have book
art,
ideas. How long you want to wait? I can ship stuff. I got a full library in my corner.
I don't know if she's on your level yet, although
That's true.
she's on a pretty high level, but I don't think she'll find it interesting yet. She just
I'm
doesn't
literally
have
looking at I'm looking at my corner of books, and I'm like, shit.
She's reading this one manga web series that I got her into. I haven't even read it myself, but it looked cool. It's called Hooky.
I'm not familiar. Don't.
Let me see. I had the there it is. Cookie is a fantasy adventure web comic written and illustrated by Spanish author Miriam Manastre. Originally serialized as a webtoon, blah blah blah. I want a synopsis.
Hmm.
All right, the series follows two young witches from a powerful family, Danny and Dorian Wyatt. After missing the bus to magic school, they eventually get wrapped up in a professed war between witches and humans. Nice. Yeah, and I got her the first book. The first book was like probably like one of the biggest books she's read.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. It's not quite as big as the Harry Potter book. Maybe.
Oh, you know what? She would probably, if she hasn't already, would enjoy the Redwoods book series or Redwall book series.
Redfall. Not too familiar with that one.
It's literally more or less about woodland creatures that are dressed as people, but they're going about life, like people would. There's political strife and stuff like that, but it's nothing like too intense because I remember reading that in my elementary school days. They stuck out to me.
Nice. What I read in my elementary school days, I read The Boxcar Children, The Hardy Boys, Goosebumps, Lemony
Yep,
Lemony
fucking
Snicket. Um,
lemony snicket. And then whatever, like, ah, man, that pure moment of realizing the Scholastic Book Fair was coming in to
uh,
school.
I hated it.
I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
My parents hated spending money there.
Yeah, mine did too, but they were also going to be like, well, you're reading, so like,
Yeah, I mean they got me. I mean they get me any book I want from like Books a Million or like something like that, but I wanted to buy the book from the school,
yep,
which was like I don't know, it probably cost more. They just give you the most expensive books there. That's the only books they have there.
yep. But that
Not
was also where like, what is it?
just the newest book.
Captain Underpants was my an introduction to the Scholastic Book Fair. But yeah, man, Redwall I think would be a great series for your daughter to get like into.
Nice,
Because
nice.
I loved it as a kid. I remember really enjoying it.
Oh yeah, so I just put on Vox Machina in the background, and that's the
Dude,
thing on our docket, so we might as well.
I love Vox Machina so much.
I'll let you take the wheel in talking about it.
So for all of you nerds out there that enjoy your D&D lifestyle,
Ew.
let me tell you about Vox Machina, or at least let me start with where Vox Machina got created, and that is going to be from the amazing D&D podcast series Critical Role. Highly recommend. It's been going on for a very, very long time. It is just the best type of personalities getting together and having a D&D series be able to roll for as long as we all wish we could do it. And
So
also they have that dedication to like really bring the characters to life. And Vox Machina is Amazon Prime, or at least Amazon realizing like, hey, we could take advantage of this. Like this is a full-on fan base that we could truly kind of bring into the TV watching world, and like we can make something out of it. And thankfully, I watched Rings of Power. I've watched other Amazon related series. This is probably in my top like three of the series that I've watched on Amazon.
top 3 series on Amazon. That's a big accolade you gave him there, and
Yep.
God, yeah, I'm definitely watching this.
I truly, truly enjoy it because I can picture the roles happening for every single thing that like occurs in the show. Like all the fucking like horribly funny things. I can picture myself being like, all right, I'm gonna try to do a stealth roll for me in the courtyard, and then the person that's in the courtyard with me is also going to do a stealth roll because like we had that conversation and try to like make sure this shady diplomat doesn't notice us while he's walking through the courtyard while we're trying to follow him. We both roll and we both get shit rolls. So all of a sudden
One of you get caught, but the both of you got caught.
so like there's literally like the dwarf character that realizes like, oh shit, I'm gonna get caught. But then there's this big hulking character like a Goliath that's sitting there with this barrel of beer that he's drinking. So the dwarf is just like, oh shit, jumps into the barrel, and then the fucking Goliath is just chugging it. It's stupid things like that it's
Yeah.
so perfect. It's so well done. But then there's the extremely like badass moments where
Oh yeah.
their druid calls down a full lightning bolt onto the enemy.
Now,
It's
like
so well.
a little squadron of goblins. Uh, it's probably only gonna hit 2 or 3 of them because you know how far they got to be apart. But
But hey, it looks and feels powerful.
I mean, if
And
you're a higher level, you know, knock them
mm,
all out. It's still great, especially
no,
if your teammates died.
yeah, Vox Machina is a fun, great D&D series that if you're not familiar with, it's a great way to get yourself into like as an introduction. And then you could roll from there. You can go to the podcast where it originally came from, Critical Role, or there's also a podcast that I truly love, and the name is hysterical. It's called Dungeons and Daddies.
Dungeons and Daddies. I like it.
So, a very important thing about Dungeons and Daddies is they start each episode off where they're like, this is not a BDSM podcast.
Just to let you know, I know it can be the name can be very misleading, but I
They
actually
know it. They
enjoy
know it.
a friendly neighborhood Dungeons and Dragons podcast.
And man, like they do a great job too at just rolling with like a D&D format where they just make it their own. It's literally about four dads that are trying to save their sons from a D&D world that they got sucked into on the way to a soccer tournament.
That that's truly truly incredible thing.
Hmm.
But I was thinking, when you said for those of you that aren't, well versed in D&D, maybe we can do a little something like a little bit of D&D stuff. Maybe
We
not
can roll a
not
campaign.
not tutorial, just like a nice easy campaign showing people the ropes, and then maybe we can develop some kind of sweet story for everybody to watch us play out.
Okay, so I think something we can roll with is like just a quick thing where you, me, Mike, whoever can be the dungeon master, and we can be like a quick like 2 minute session where we just throw somebody on the spot. Where the dungeon master is like, and here today we have this person. And
Like
this person when it shows up.
we could make it a segment like your everyday D&D gauntlet.
Yep.
It's been today.
Where the dungeon master could put you in any situation the
Any
dungeon master
scenario,
wants to. And then it's like, okay, so
randomized scenario.
you're currently in the king's courtroom. You're being dragged by the guards and they're accusing you of robbery. What are you gonna do? And you are limited to like what's gonna
7
happen.
seconds to think of your response now.
Yep.
I like that. We could
And then
call
it's
it D&D roulette because the scenery and
yup.
the whole scenario changes at a whim, whatever you want to do, however we want to create this thing. But I like it, and I think everybody else will like it as well because this is a Nerdcast podcast, and so if you're listening to it, you're a nerd, and
Mhm.
you are open to that sort of thing if you haven't done it already.
And everybody's into a little chaos.
Oh, we are into a lot of chaos. It is a lot of chaos. I mean, I decided to make a podcast.
And
And
that is also like I was talking to you earlier. I'm probably gonna get a Shadow the Hedgehog tattoo
yeah,
with a Chaos Emerald.
yes, that's see, right up your alley. But also these, we will be probably drinking a little bit of beer or something while playing these D&D campaigns. So they
We'll
might
have we'll have the parental advisories on those
yeah,
episodes.
we might even have like a penalty drinking game type thing into it. But who knows, we'll think about it. You can't roll this.
If you roll less than this, you have to take a shot, and then anything that goes goes.
I can get out of hand quick.
Uh,
Jeez. Well, all right, everybody. We're gonna have to call that the end of the Nerdcast podcast, episode 2. Thanks for joining. Your host Sutton, and
Another great session. Love being here from your boy Wisconsin Johnson.
yes, sir. Remember, stay geeky.
Doses.
Peace.